Welcome to the News in Motion podcast. Over the next several months leading up to the midterm elections, Gail will focus most of her podcasts on equipping and educating voters and encouraging people to register to vote. Gail is also available to serve as a community speaker on voting and civic engagement. If you are interested in working with her, email Gail at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com to schedule her today. If you're a candidate and would like to join Gail for a segment or submit your advertisement to be aired for a fee, email newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com. Now for today's podcast.
I wanted to talk about the release of Ready publication and to answer some of the questions that we have received. So I'm going to go through a list of questions and answer them. One major question has been, why was there such a long break between the publication? Well, as many of you remember, I handed the magazine off to my daughter at the end of our fourth quarter issue, which was an October release in 2019. And at the release of that publication, I handed the magazine over to her and what we call the millennial team. They were ready to release or prepare to release a magazine in March 2020, and it didn't happen because of the pandemic and everything has shut down. So with everything shutting down, we put the magazine on hold just for a little while to try to figure out where we were going. So that's the reason why there's been such a delay between 2019 and 2022. But it's so interesting to me. We released this magazine on yesterday. It's called a special issue of Ready, People, Prayer, and Politics and Democracy. So it's called Ready to Vote, People, Prayer, Politics, and Democracy. And we actually released it on the date 3 years later. So that's why there was a pause in the publication. The pandemic hit. Our actual printer has since closed. It was no way we could do it. And we were never considered an online magazine. It was always print. And people were excited about the print publication. So that's to answer that question. Again, if you're joining me, I'm just answering questions. Really excited about the release of this special edition of Ready publication. So the next question I have, and I'm reading these, so forgive me. The next question I have is, how did I get started? How did we get started in publishing magazines? Well, the story, which is an interesting story, my daughter was attending Howard University, and we were actually going on a family fall vacation. She was on her fall break from Howard. We had gone to the gift shop in the airport and purchased magazines because we were just going to be hanging out on the beach for a week. And the plane ended up being stuck on the tarmac. My daughter and I went through every magazine we purchased. We were hoping that the plane would go back to the gate so we could take the magazines back. We went through every magazine. We probably had about, 10 or so magazines. We had gone through everything, and we realized they were just ads upon ads upon ads. So we said my daughter says, Mom, you're a writer. You have a lot of author friends. Why don't we publish a magazine? And I said, girl, you're crazy. That's totally different than publishing a book. And she said, but we can do it. We can do it. So actually, our vacation turned into a working vacation. And I started emailing all of my writer friends saying, hey, let's just do this one-time publication. We're going to release it on MLK of 2015, and we're just going to see what's happening. We want it to be print. We don't want any ads. And we were telling the story about the ads. So hopefully you're going to glean from this. When we were sharing with people about the ads and the story of the ads, they were telling us, you would never make it. We heard that over and over and over again. You would never make it. This magazine is not going to make it. All of my friends joined me. My designer friend, Pam, who lives in North Carolina, she says, okay, we're going to do this. We released a magazine on MLK Day of 2015. We did. And we had, maybe 100 magazines, right? Well, people started asking for the magazine. We were like, what is happening? So we ended up selling within a week about a thousand and something magazines. So we thought, one and done, that's it. People started asking us for subscriptions. We were like, what is going on? So then we released another one that April of 2015. Then we released another one in July, and then we released another one in October of 2015, and which turned into a quarterly print publication. So for 5 years, we were turning out Ready publication. Um, and we were really excited about it. We had a great team. The authors were volunteering their time. What we would do is make sure we posted their articles. They posted the articles on their websites, and they started getting freelance pitches. So they were now writing freelance and getting paid for doing so. So we're really excited about it. So that's how it started. We decided we wanted a magazine that we could read cover to cover without ads. And we were able to produce that, although many people said to us we would never make it. By October 2019, Ready Publication was located in over 40 countries. Because the publication, our tagline for the publication was edgy, different, and content rich. And it's still the tagline. Ready Publication is edgy, different, and content rich. Content rich is because you read nothing but articles, and the articles went deep, and many of the articles had questions at the end. So people were starting to form small groups around Ready Publication. That's what was happening. Then we went on a Ready tour where we were going to different cities and states. And we did that in 2012. Let me see. No, we started in 2015. We did that like 2016, 2017, I believe. Going around to different cities, and people would come out. It was free. You just had to have the magazine. We were at coffee shops and so forth. It was a big deal. It was a really big deal. We had fun with that. My daughter was still attending Howard University. She graduated in 2016. We actually had a what we call a summit actually on the campus of Howard University, and it was amazing. So that's how we got started. That's what was going on. So we took the break. So the next question is, what do you hope to gain from the comeback with the special edition? And will you please say that you will continue? Well, I'll start with the last question first. We're going a different direction now. The reason I wanted to do this special edition of Ready Publication is for the sole fact that I believe this midterm election is the most important midterm election of my lifetime. I'm not saying it, I'm talking about as of now. I'm not saying what it may look like 2 years from now, 10 years from now, but right now it's the most important midterm election of my lifetime. I think it's more important than what the 2020 elections, the general elections were, honestly. And I wanted to get into the hands of people resources. So I'm so grateful to our interior designer of the magazine, Amber Mabry, who helped put this thing together. She took my vision and she ran with it. She literally ran with my vision. And from that, she just put everything together. So when we got to the resource guide, and I'm going to put this up, and if you see it, just scan it. If you can, just scan the code. This is our free voter resource guide. The digital version is free. If you scan that QR code, you go to the link and just do the digital. The digital is free. If you want to do the print, it's like $1.60, I believe, plus shipping from the distributor. So just scan the code, share the code. We want to get this in the hands of people everywhere, especially those in the marginalized communities who may not have access to computers or whatnot, or even have an understanding as to where to go. So just scan that QR code. The digital is free. The print is like $1.60, I believe. And that's the distributor fee. We're not making any money off of the resource guide at all, nor do we want to. So we're actually looking for donors and sponsors to help us out in a very short period of time over the next 7 days. We're trying to raise money to do the print, which is $1.60 a piece, to get them to different places. We already have people asking us for 100 copies here, 100 copies there of the print because they want to hand them out. Libraries are asking for them. We have some elder care centers that are asking for them. We have some barbershops in the marginalized communities that are asking for them. So we're doing our part as much as we can to get them out. If you do want to contribute, whether it's $1, $2, $3, whatever, if you don't mind not having a tax receipt, you can do that through the Cash App. And the Cash App is the $ MIM today. Again, that's the $ MIM today. I'm looking to see if there's yep, I have it. That's the Cash App right there, MIM today. If you want to do that, or if you want to, you say, well, I want to really contribute, just inbox me and I will put you in contact with the address with our fiduciary agent, which is Making a Difference LLC in Columbus, Ohio, where you would get a tax receipt. But we're trying to do this in a short period of time to get these printed off and delivered to these areas. We know early voting has begun in many states. It will begin where I reside in Ohio on October the 12th. Which is tomorrow, actually. The last day to register to vote in Ohio is today at 11:59 p.m. So it's a quick turnaround to get this out. So that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to get voting resources to people. All the articles in this particular publication never expire. Actually, if you go back through any of our quarterly print magazine, the articles don't expire except for where we have voting. 2016, it was heavily a vote magazine, as well as 2018. But there's still even information in there that will never expire. So that's why. So the next question is it difficult to produce a magazine? You have to have a love for it. You have to have a love for wanting to publish a magazine. There are many moving parts. I shared on News in Motion yesterday that for about 72 hours, none of us sleep. We don't sleep. We don't have time because we have a group of readers who are reading. Let me back up. I'm just going to spill all the tea here. We send out a call for articles. We had a lot of our regular contributors join us for this special edition of Ready. And it's called Ready to Vote: People, Prayer, Politics, Democracy. So they jumped on board. And then we sent out other requests for writers. So once we get those requests in and we get their articles, we go through and determine what we're keeping, what we're going to lay aside, what we're going to put on a blog or whatnot. We kept all of them. We actually had men join us for this issue and some young people, and we're real excited about it. Back in 2017 and 18, Ready Publication did a summit for young writers. And many of the young writers, because they were juniors and seniors, will never forget one young writer was submitting her application for Harvard. She completed and submitted the publication, and they wrote back in her acceptance letter saying, because of this published article that took you over the top, which we are extending our invitation for you to join us as a student. So that was exciting. So we would do a 3-day summit where they would learn how to write. We would bring in speakers to teach and writers to teach, and we had a great time. So we had young people in this issue as well that just released. So then it goes to the editor. And so the editor, Carrie Kuba, the editor goes through every article. She makes any changes, notations, and when we get the articles from the writers, we say to the writers, we have rights. This is the article belongs to you, but we have rights to make adjustments. So Carrie Kuba went through each article, did a fantastic job, and did all the editing. And then we started submitting the articles, the images. We had to get the citations, the rights, the license, whatever. So there are many moving parts to publishing a magazine. There was one issue where we had a image of Martin Luther King Jr. on the cover. I want to say that was in 2018, and we did a whole black and white issue. It was amazing. But we had to go through the family. We had to get permission. We had to get with attorneys, and I still have all of those records in case anything ever happened. Excuse me, and they come back to us. So you have to get all of that information when you are publishing a magazine, actually, when you're publishing a book as well. So we have to get the license for the images, we have to get permission, we have to get citations, we have to get all of that. So as the magazine is being produced, we are still working it. So in August, all the articles were due. We sent out the call back in, I believe it was the end of May, 1st of June. All the articles were due. And I'm going to be very transparent here. I've been doing this for, I don't know now how many years, but I really fell into imposter syndrome. I did, where I was stuck. And everybody was waiting on me, but I was stuck. I was stuck. And I was like, who do I think I am to do this magazine? Why do I think I should be able to do this magazine? I mean, I just didn't believe in myself. I was really just beating myself down, like imposter syndrome big time. And I had to push through that, and I was able to. So the magazine is actually a little delayed. It came out yesterday. It was supposed to come out the 20th of September. So we're about 30 days late in releasing it. But it's okay. You just keep pushing through. Even with everyone's image, they have to be a certain image. They have to be 300 DPI. That's the what we need when it comes to print. Without it, there's low resolution. It doesn't look good. And I believe in excellence in everything that I do. So we have to look at the images, individual images. So even here's an example. At about little after midnight, this would have been Sunday night, Monday morning, little after midnight, something just said, look at it one more time. Because after a while, when you look at it, you begin to memorize everything. Even when you're reading print publication, when I publish books, same thing. You start remembering everything. So it's by memory. So little after midnight, I'm lying in the bed thinking, okay, we're done. This has gone to print. And I said, you got to look at it one more time. I got up. I looked at it, and on the content page where we had to add two more of our young people's images, I noticed that one of our writers, where we went to move everything over, one of our writers ended up with the last name of somebody else. And I thought, no way. And it's really like, stop the press, stop. So you have to put it out there, stop it. We got to pull this back, whatever. And you're hoping that you're catching it. So y'all, publishing a magazine is no easy feat, let me tell you. We have readers. Once Carrie has edited, the designer starts laying it out. Once the designer lays it out, she sends it to us. I send it to the readers. There are 10 readers. The readers will read through the magazine. They have what you call error sheet. They put down the page number, the column, which paragraph, how many lines down, how many lines over, there's a period, there's a comma, this word is wrong, it didn't carry over, whatever it is. Y'all, that's how detailed we are looking at putting together a magazine. So after that, they send it in, we send it to the designer. Amber goes through, pulls it all over, she packages again. It's called a package. She sends it back. The readers look at it again. This time it's a separate set of readers because they're memorizing what they've already read, and they're reading line by line. And this is how they do this. They read it, then they go through and mark it because they want to understand the piece. They want to connect with the piece. They're looking at the piece. So they're doing different things here. So then they send all the errors. I send it back to Amber. Amber makes things make some changes, and then I look at it again. I look at it again in the middle. And then as I'm looking at it, we're looking at order. And we changed the order only once, which is a success, because usually we change the order 3 or 4 times. So I said, okay, we got to put Ukraine first because Ukraine was important. As we're going to put Ukraine first, and then we're going to ease into the politics of everything else. Then I intentionally put the 3 Black men together. And then I put the college piece in there. Then I put the women's rights piece in there. Then we had an anonymous writer. And this anonymous writer sent in an article anonymously. We can't trace the person or anything like that. We read that article and we all cried. We all cried. You have to get the magazine to see it. Her bravery. So if she's watching this, I want to just say to that person, your bravery to put that in writing was phenomenal. You pulled every heartstring. And regardless of where people stand on women's bodies, women's issues, women's rights, I pray that they will read your article and at least avail themselves to receive a different side, especially someone who has experienced what you have experienced. So thank you for your bravery. That article is in there. Then we even have Dr. Command, who has been on News in Motion with us. We have Dr. Command, who submitted an article about rescue, and then there's even a rescue list of things that you need for a rescue or what to prepare for. I'm always careful not to say if one issue of Ready has outdone another issue of Ready. I'm very careful not to say that, but I can say this: God's hands was truly on this issue of Ready, without a doubt, without a doubt. This issue, I would say, is probably the most nonpartisan issue to date that we released. People were bold in their articles. People were transparent in their articles. People did not hold back in their articles. It is phenomenal. We have another writer, Shelley Wilson, who talked about this time she's a single issue voter and her single issue is democracy. And she breaks that thing down, y'all. So it's just something about this issue. And again, the articles never really expire, except for maybe Ukraine. The articles will never really expire. So whether you get it today or get it next month, even after the election, I think you would be very impressed by the articles that were in there. So where's Ready going? Where's Ready going? Well, first of all of our millennial team are now doing some amazing work. They're out there doing great work. Many people ask, have I missed my daughter during this time? Because she did not participate in this article except to cheer me on. And yes, I did miss her, but I also understand that her purpose is greater and God has her on a new path that is outstanding and she's excited about it. She's doing some great work in digital marketing and PR. It's amazing. I can't disclose where she works, but it's great and she loves it and they love her. So I have missed her, but I understand. It's like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. And again, she still cheered me on. And then she saw some things like, I need you to fix that, which I did. So that's exciting. But Ready Media LLC, for the longest, it was Ready Publication. It switched in 2018 to Ready Media LLC. June 2020, I started News in Motion. We have since put News in Motion under Ready Media LLC. We are now promoting other people with their podcast and broadcast, and we are launching other people. As the magazine shares in the welcome from myself, I say in the welcome that we will be producing some documentaries. Yes, we're excited. We've been working on these for about 2 years under News in Motion, but now it's going to be under Ready Media LLC. So we're excited about that. We're going to do some collaborative books where we will have different voices and writers contribute to books. The genre is going to be focused on advocacy, politics, news, civic engagement, social service, that type of thing. So we're real excited about what's happening. We will not do the quarterly print publication, but hold on. We are going to do a yearly publication of some sort where we're massaging that now to see which direction we're going to go. And by January 2023, I've been talking about just to a few people because I believe you got to keep things close to your vest. We will launch what we call the advocacy firm. So we're really excited about that. We're working with some attorneys. We're working with some social service agencies. We're working with some nonprofit organizations. We're working with some hospitals. We're working with some elderly care centers. We're working with different people. We're putting all the pieces together, but it's so exciting to do that. It's a makes my heart beat. So that's what's happening. So the next question, and then if you all have any questions, I see there's like 3 of you on live with me. Thank you for joining me. Just put them in the chat and I will respond if you have other questions. The next question I have is, you say you're 57. I am. You say you're 57. I don't believe you, but I really am 57. Do you see yourself handing this off to your daughter later on? My daughter, to back up, Ready Publication is about social justice, volunteerism, philanthropy, entrepreneurship, civic engagement. We talk finances and health in the publication. So that's been, again, our tagline for Ready Publication is edgy, different, and content rich. And we are edgy. We push the envelope all the time. Ready has always been different. We hear that from all over the world, and it is content rich. We only allow 3 to 5 ads in the magazine. Yes. And that's why people were saying to us all the time that we would never make it because we didn't have advertisers. But we just believed in doing the work. It was like a ministry to us, so to speak. So we're real excited about that. So that's who Ready is. So my daughter, what she's doing now, I don't think she'll reach back to grab it again. She may do what she did this past time with me, but she has a different call in her life and she's leading that life. Could I pass it off to one of the millennial team members? Absolutely. If anyone ever said to me, and they call me Mama Gail, hey, I want to take this over. Can you train me or teach me? I would totally hand it over to them in a heartbeat. Will it die? We thought it was going to die in the 3 years that we were, the stay-at-home orders. We thought Ready Publication was just going to die. I cannot tell you how many people have been looking for Ready Publication. We have one of our writers, her father, I believe he's in his late 70s, could not wait to get Ready in the mail every quarter. Asked his daughter, where's Ready Publication? And I'm going to need Gail to pick that back up. So we even had older men saying, where's this magazine? We've had people write in and say, I have not been able to find a magazine that I could read cover to cover without all the advertisement. And it was content and it was a resource. And it was something I can go back to pick up. Please tell me you're bringing this back out. So we thought it would have died, but it did not. So here's a special issue. Again, we will do one something every year, maybe 2, but don't bet on it. We have the other things that we're working on. So y'all, that is the release of Ready Publication, of Ready to Vote, People, Prayer, Politics, Democracy. Some amazing articles are inside that publication. It is now available to purchase. The print publication is $14.50, and that's the quarterly price. Let me talk about that. That was another question. There's a Facebook user saying, are you soliciting guest bloggers? Absolutely. So we are building that to roll out in January 2023. So absolutely. Just send us an email. You can email the News in Motion team. Let me see if I can find that banner. I'm doing this all by myself today. I haven't done this in a long time, but there were so many questions about Ready that I wanted to come on here and to share. I'm trying to find the email address so I can give you. Yep, I'm working on my own right now. I can't find it, but it's News in Motion with Gail. I did find it. News in Motion with Gail at gmail.com. News in Motion with Gail at gmail.com. Just send us your information and we will put you on the list to get that out to you. So Ready Publication, it's been a joy. It has been a joy. And again, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to look different. We will again issue one print something each year, maybe 2. Don't bet on 2, but at least 1. We want to keep the information out here. So this issue, Ready to Vote, People, Prayer, Politics, Democracy, is now available. The print copy is $14.50. That's where I was going. The print copy is $14.50. You can do the digital. We'll put all the links in here, or you can go on any of our pages and you can see the links to purchase the magazine. The digital, I think we said $2 or maybe it's $3. I'm not for sure for the digital. It used to be on Amazon, but because we only were doing one, not knowing if we were going to launch another one. We did not do Amazon because you have to commit to so many and you have to put it up there at their deadline. Because we were on Amazon with the other before we went on our break. Um, some people ask why, because they were $15. We did this one 50 cents less. People say, why? We don't make any money off of this. I just want y'all to know this. We make no money off of this. Print a perfect bound full color magazine is not cheap unless you get to issuing millions of copies. We're not there with issuing millions of copies. People say, why is it $14.50? Isn't that a little high for a magazine? We can get a magazine for $6.99. Okay, you're getting a magazine for $6.99, but here's my question. What are you getting inside that magazine? What exactly are you getting? I see you, Hester. What are you getting inside that magazine? That's the question, okay? You're getting a lot of ads. That's what you're getting. And the ads pay for that for you to get it cheaper. That's really what you get. These are all content rich. A lot of essays are in Ready publication. You're getting cover to cover content. Again, I think there's a total of 4 ads in this magazine, only 4. And we only use ads from our writers. There's that as well. So there's nothing different. That was what we did this time. Before we went on our break, we had ads from Royal Caribbean, but we turned it into something that dealt with writing. We had a dermatologist who did some ads as well, but really exciting. And Dr. Angie says, not really. Love people. Have people looked at magazine prices lately? There's that question. Excuse me. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Hester said that price is on point. I recently paid $17 for a magazine print copy. Well, there you have it. So yeah, so ours is $14.50. So it did release yesterday. So it's out there. What the key we want to do right now, what we're pushing right now, and it's just what I heard God say. Our amazing designer had the thought, had the vision to leave the resource guide in the magazine, but to also pull out a supplemental piece by the resource guide. It's 8 pages, trying to get it into hands of people everywhere. Dr. Angie, I'm going to show you the link to just scan this QR code. This is the resource guide. The digital is free. The print this is just the resource guide only, not the full publication. The print is like $1.60 plus whatever it is to ship. You just scan that QR code. We'll also put the links in here as soon as this is over so that you can have it. I'm working on my own doing this special edition of News in Motion Ready publication and on my YouTube. But you scan this QR code, do the free digital. We're trying to get churches and rec centers and libraries, and we're getting a lot of requests for the free for the print digital. And so we're trying to see if people would give. I don't care if it's $1, $5, whatever. Y'all can do that to the Cash App. If you don't need a receipt, you can do it to the Cash App, which is the $MIM today. I'll put that up there again. People are requesting them. We're trying to get them in Section 8 housing. This is a resource guide. Y'all, the resource guide is nonpartisan. It's just filled with voter resources, voter information. Y'all, seriously, we need your help. We're doing our part. We are dropping some later today. Several people have been asking, so we're doing our part, dropping them today. We're just donating them, of course. That's what we're doing. We're not charging anyone for it who's asking for it in a dire need. That's why we're asking for those of you to come alongside us to help. I will put the actual magazine link in this thread in a few moments. I'm trying to think if there were any other questions. We are just grateful. Thank you all for those who wanted to know how did we do this? How do I do this? Here's another question that came in on my Instagram, who's asking me, they were like, girl, you must have some energy. How are you doing? News in Motion. How are you doing your reels every morning? How are you writing books? Because y'all know I have a book that's coming out called Inspire, a 365-day devotional. Is delayed a little bit, but our goal is to get it out end of November, first part of December. My editor for my books, not the magazine, my editor for my books lives in Fort Myers, Florida, and we know what happened with Hurricane Ian, and she's delayed. Her house is still up, but she had a lot of flooding, so she's in cleanup stage. I told her to take her time. Her house, her living is more important than getting this book out. We were close to the final edit, so that will be coming out. Um, um, so how are you doing all this and doing a magazine? Um, I'm like a kid at heart, and I love what I do, and I'm always going after it. When God speaks to me, I'm going for it, whatever that looks like. I'm just excited. I pray. I pray every day, several times a day. I exercise. At least I'm trying to get back into that. But my prayer, meditation, and Bible study and reading is probably the most important of my life right now. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with that. But again, if y'all want to help us get this resource guide out there, the digital version is free. I'll put that back up on the screen again. That's the digital version of that. You just scan the QR code. There's a print in there. Also, the print is like $1.60 plus your shipping, but share that, print that. We want to get this voter resource guides in the hands as many people as we possibly can. That is our number one. The magazine, the articles are fire. They're straight fire. And I want you to get that as well. We'll put that link in there also. I think that was all the questions. So the publication has released. We're so excited about it. It was a vision. It was a vision. It was a vision. And I answered God's call to get it done. And I want to thank all of the writers, all of the writers. There's a total of 17 or 18 writers in the magazine. I want to thank all of you. Y'all really put your heart into this magazine. I want to thank Amber, who did the designing of the magazine. I want to thank Carrie, who was the editor of the magazine. I want to thank all the prayer warriors. I just want to share this with you all. Every day, I have a team of people praying for me. I do. For years, I was out speaking. Many of y'all know I'm an ordained pastor. I was traveling the world, teaching on prayer, preaching on prayer all over the world. Y'all, I was telling y'all about the Ready Action Circles earlier. Pastor Angie Shannon had one, and I think we were in Plano, Texas, if I remember. We came to Texas with Ready Publication. We had a great time in a church for 4 hours? So Pastor Angie Shannon made sure we did one right there in the Dallas area, Plano, Texas. So she's there. But I was traveling the world. And early on in my life, when I took that helm of traveling the world, speaking and teaching, preaching in Zimbabwe, preaching in Jerusalem, preaching in Germany, just wherever, I knew then I needed a team of intercessors to pray for me. They still do. So there is a team. There's a team. Y'all going to be shocked by this number, but there is a team of 99 people who pray for me daily. I am on their list. I am on their list. So they were praying for me. I sent out a prayer request and said, y'all, I'm dealing with imposter syndrome. I don't know where this came from. It came out of nowhere in August. So I'm trying to get this magazine out. I'm going to need y'all to pray for me. They went to praying for me. They were sending me notes, and that's how this magazine came out. So I need to thank the intercessors. If you do not have a team of people praying for you, have a team of people praying for you. Seriously, it makes the difference. So if you're wondering how I get all this done, I have people praying for me. They are praying for me, and I pray for them also. They are praying for me. We pray for the viewers of News in Motion every day. Every day. When they see the names pop up, they are praying for them. They are praying. Many of them are in different time zones. They're all over the world, but they are praying for the viewers of News in Motion all the time. So I've been on here long enough. I've been on here for 40 minutes talking about the release of Ready Publication. If you are just joining us, check it out. I answered questions from people. People asked, how did I do it? How do you get started? Is it a difficult process? I'm gonna be honest, it's an extremely difficult process, but it can be done. Shout out to Monica Ware. Monica Ware is a friend of mine who I met in Florida at a women's conference. And she really showed me how to do a magazine when my daughter and I decided we wanted to do it. And also, Angela Stone is another friend. You know, if you have gifts and you know God has called you to share them with other people, do that. And what I shared here, just briefly with all of you, is how to do a magazine and the difficulty. The main thing is making sure you have the licenses for all the images. Please don't put out anything and you take images from somebody else. Make sure you have the license, make sure you have the citations, make sure you have the resources, make sure you have 300 DPI images for anything that's print. Make sure you have a designer who knows what she's doing. Make sure you have the capacity to upload and knowing what platforms you're going to upload them to and how you're going to distribute. Make sure you have your taxes in place, y'all. Make sure you have everything together. Again, my one example is when we wanted to use Martin Luther King's Jr.'s image on the cover, which we were granted permission. I still have that in my file folder. I printed it off. It was done electronically. I printed it off and put it in a folder because I don't want anybody coming at me at any time. We had to get permission from his family. We had to get permission from the estate. We had to get the permission from the museum. We had to get permission from everybody. We had attorneys involved, everything to make sure we did that issue right. So there's things we have to do to make this work. So that's a wrap, y'all. It's out there. We'll put all the links in there. I've given you the resource guide. If you want to give to help us get this resource guide out there, contact me. I'll let you know how you can give. You can also give to the Cash App, which is the $MIM today. Let me be very clear. Anyone who sends any type of funds pertaining to the resource guide goes to the resource guide. I just want to tell you that. It goes to the resource guide. We did an order last night of the print. Now, again, the digital is free on the link, but if you needed the print, I think it's $1.60 plus shipping. We did an order last night. I think it was for 530 something print. The shipping alone to get them in time was crazy. I'm just be honest with you, but we needed them so we can distribute them out to where they need to go to do our drop. Y'all, that credit card was, I think it was like $1,100 or something total. So just know that this is what we're doing. So any help you can give us, thank you. All right, y'all, this is not going to be often that I do a special comeback on here, anything right after News in Motion, because that takes a lot out of me. Shout out to Al Edmondson, who joined us this morning on the actual News in Motion broadcast. If some of you are joining on different platforms this morning, you're wondering, well, what's News in Motion? Where can I find it? You can find it at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Thursday, on our Facebook channel, which is facebook.com/News in Motion. On my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Gail Dudley, and that's Gail, D as in David, U, D as in David, Ley, and on my personal LinkedIn. Come the new year, we're going to have it on 10 other platforms, and then, of course, our audio. So, y'all, stay well, everyone, and remember, make some bold moves. I am out.